Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Ideas Edition podcast. And it is a privilege for me in this amazing podcast to introduce yourself, the VP of Sales and Agent Success for one of our uplines, the health insurance store, which is an integrity company. Her name is Kiara Urraca. Kiara, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Jorge. I'm very excited. A little nervous, but very excited.
No, I'm very excited that you get the time to do this with us. You have acquired so much knowledge throughout the years working for health insurance store, and now you're the VP of Sales and Agent Success, right? So I know there's a lot of value you can add to our agents listening to this. So again, thank you for being here. I want to start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started on the insurance industry.
So it's quite interesting. I actually started 7 years ago in September. So I worked retail since I graduated high school, and retail is kind of like a dying world because everybody going to Amazon and things like that. So I was working for a luxury vintage good company, and I was laid off. They decided to close the shop. So then I was looking for something, and I was looking for other jobs, and my son was going into kindergarten. And I said, do I really want to stay in retail and not be able to pick up my son from school and help him from homework, which was extremely important for me.
Wow.
So my mom was actually working in the retention department in the health insurance store, and she asked around, and she said, do you guys have a position available? And I've never worked in an office environment. So I interviewed with them. A month later, they called me to work as a seasonal employee in the enrollment department.
No way.
So I didn't know the difference between Medicare, Medicaid, what ACA was, what the carriers were. I had been enrolled in Obamacare because I was unemployed, but I didn't really know anything about it. But I was like, sure, I'll try. And I remember the first week working there, sitting in a chair for 8 hours a day when I'm used to retail, just running around everywhere. I was like, I can't do this.
I know.
I made a commitment. I'm going to do this for 6 weeks and then I'm out of here. And then 7 years later, I'm somehow the VP of Sales and Agent Success. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride for sure.
That's a funny story.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So I'm pretty sure you have a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah. I walked in. I was like, this is crazy. I didn't know insurance was so complicated. I can't stay here. And then somehow I haven't left yet. So
what do you think made the click for you to stay?
I think the competitiveness and the amount of things there are to learn. I'm the type of I love to learn. Like, I love to learn. I love to take courses. And I love to learn from people. And I feel like there was so much opportunity to learn, and there's so much connection. In retail, you have customers that you just check out and then you move on. Here, I'm building relationships with people. Like Idea, I've seen Idea grow. I've known you guys for 7 years now. So it's different, and you're building relationships with human beings, and it's for the greater good. It's health. We focus on health insurance, and it's health insurance. It just makes you feel good. So I think that definitely kept me around and still keeping me around.
Yeah. And I know that, you got your license through them, and then, you did a lot of enrollments while working there as well, mainly on the ACA side.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. What was your experience, selling ACA insurance?
So I did once I decided that I wasn't going to run away, I got licensed. So I got my 240 first, and then later on I got my 214. And I just found an interest in it. So my mom is a broker. And I lived with my mom at the time, so I saw her kind of going through it, and I just got a special attachment to the ACA, and I think it's because I was a client. I enrolled myself in an ACA plan prior to working for the health insurance store, and I just saw the difference that it made for me and for my son, and the access to care. So I felt like it was something super important, and I was intrigued by it. So it's just something that I kind of picked up, and then I first started on the administrative side. But then when I moved to the sales side, that's kind of what I gravitated towards, the ACA. I still do Medicare, and I've done Medicare enrollments, but ACA definitely, I've done hundreds and hundreds of ACA enrollments myself and interacted with clients. And it's just, you service a bigger community, I feel like, with the ACA.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then you did that for how long?
So I still
probably you still do
yeah,
it, right?
I still till this day do ACA enrollments because I'm also in charge of the our internal sales team at the health insurance store. So if I need to jump in at any time, I jump in. So still till this day, we've had different projects and things like that, and I'm still, if I need to do an ACA enrollment, I can sit down and I do what I have to do.
Yeah.
So
and one of the things you have we have talked to with ACA specifically is that you're always up to date with the changes. To these CMS important meetings, and they kind of keep you guys up to date and then you pass down that information to us. And this year's being a little different,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I think every year is different
Yeah.
and they change rules, but this year is a little different. What are some of those proposed changes that you're thinking or they might happen?
Yeah. So the thing with the ACA is when COVID came around, there was the Inflation Reduction Act
Mm.
that was passed, and that helped with enhanced subsidies. So that pretty much gave more subsidies to a wider range of people. So that is set to expire at the end of the year.
Mhm.
So with a new administration, a lot of things change and priorities change. So right now, everything's kind of up in the air. So we're not sure if the enhanced subsidies are going to get renewed. We're hoping that they just surprise us at the end because it does help lots of people. If the enhanced subsidies do not get renewed, there's an estimated 2.4 million people that can lose coverage.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
That-
Yeah. And then there's different things such as there's a lot of fraud, unfortunately, in the marketplace because sometimes when something seems so easy, people go in and abuse it, unfortunately. So there are some rules that are going to be put in place that's going to help with the fraud when it comes to passive renewals. They're going to charge the client a $5 fee if they don't actively go in and renew the application. So that's more for the passive renewal and those brokers that are enrolling people without their knowledge in it. So a lot of these rules are geared toward helping fraud kind of disappear from the marketplace and getting it back to being something that's actually there to help.
Yeah, and I like that, the government is looking into this and CMS is looking into this because there has been a lot of fraud going on and people being enrolled without the knowledge, and it just affects everybody.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it affects the agents that are really doing the right thing for the client, right? So the fact that they're making this minor change actually is gonna help us,
Yep.
right? Because we're gonna the agents that are gonna stay are gonna be the
The
ones
good ones.
doing
Exactly.
the right thing,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then all of those bad actors,
Yeah.
they will go out.
Those are the ones that are upset, and you kind of notice that the ones that are upset and fighting against this are the ones that have been getting away with a lot of things in the last couple of years. So
Yes.
so I'm excited to see what rules come off. And like you mentioned, I'm part of a CMS working group that we meet monthly with CMS to kind of talk and give our opinions, and they're listening. They might not make the changes how we want them or as fast as we want them, but they're listening because they're trying to make something that's valuable for the brokers who work hard and also for the consumers as well.
Awesome, Kiara. And then jumping in back to a little to sales, right? Because you have done a lot of sales. You have done hundreds of enrollments on the ACA. What has been the hardest thing you find out while agents are not successful at growing their book of business?
Retention.
Oh,
I
talk
think
us a little bit about
Yeah, I think it's the retention. I think that's one of the most important aspects because especially here in Central Florida, there's so much competition with brokers. I was driving here and I probably saw like 3 insurance offices and agencies. So there's a lot of competition. So there's people trying to grab your members. They go into a Bravo, they go into a Sedano's, they walk down the street and there's someone trying to grab them. But if you build that relationship with your consumer, they're more likely to stay with you. There's something that I heard once that it's harder to fire your friend than your insurance broker.
Wow.
So if you become that person's friend and that consumer's friend, they're always going to think of you and it's going to be harder for them to go with another broker. So I think to be successful is to build relationships with your clients and retention.
Wow,
Yep.
that's amazing.
Yep.
What are some of the key things maybe you have seen in agents as far as retention? Like what has been some of the strategies they use to kind of get that engagement, become their friend, like you said?
So definitely what we use internally and what I encourage my brokers and I've done trainings on is the 10, 30, 60, 90-day calls. So those are extremely important. After you do the enrollment, 10 days after to say, hey, did you get your card in the mail? Hey, if you got your card, does it show the right doctor on the Medicare side? Sometimes on the ACA side. Hey, is everything good? Then after 30 days, hey, did you use your plan? Did you make sure that are your doctors actually covered? Are your medications covered? Then on the 60-day, if it's a Medicare, hey, did you use your supplemental benefits?
Wow.
Remind them, hey, remember you have that food card. It doesn't roll over. And then the 90 days is the same thing. Pick another supplemental benefit. Tell them about it. Encourage them to use their plan and to go visit their doctor and let them know, hey, I'm going to be calling you in a couple months so we can look at any other options if you're not happy with your plan. So it's calling them and letting them know, hey, I'm here, and saying, hey, remember, save my number. Just in case you need me, send me a text, give me a call. So it's building that relationship and showing that member that you're not just an enrollment for me. You're a lifetime friend, and I'm here to help you whenever you need.
That's amazing. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Yeah. With ACA, I know there's a lot of things happening right now. And we might see, like you said, we might see a reduction in membership, right? And sometimes that could scare brokers because they might say, hey, I might lose 10% or 15% of my book. What are some of the things that you're currently looking at and teaching agents on how to diversify the portfolio so that, if this gets affected, at least their income doesn't get affected?
Yeah. So, first of all, before anything is make a plan. Make a plan for path A and path B. If the enhanced subsidies get renewed, if the enhanced subsidies don't get renewed, make a plan to support your members, because although they were your members for many years, they may fall off of the plan and they're not your members right now. In this business, we still need to support our consumers. And then when it comes to diversifying your portfolio, I'm very, very excited, and I've been doing a couple of trainings about ICRA.
Okay.
So ICRA is it's a new concept. Well, it came out in 2020, but it's kind of a new concept, and we're still all learning it. And I went to a couple of conferences already, but it's pretty much a replacement for traditional group plans, where it allows the employer to give a monthly contribution to the employee, and the employee is able to select a plan on the marketplace, usually an off-exchange plan. So it's pretty much a reference is, let's say I give a group of people $20 to go get lunch. Some are going to buy pizza, some are going to buy burgers, some are going to buy a salad. So it allows the person to choose what they want. Someone can go on an Oscar plan, someone can go on an Ambetter, someone can go on a gold, someone can go on a bronze. So it allows them to choose, and they're not stuck in that traditional group that is being presented to them. And it also widens the risk pool, because when you are in group coverage and someone has high usage, it can affect the renewals for everybody. But right now, it is based on the 24 million people that are in the marketplace.
Wow.
So it definitely helps when it comes to cost. So it's something super exciting.
Oh, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
So there might be some savings potential for the employer,
Yes.
right? How big does the group has to be to
So there's no minimum.
ICRA?
There's no minimum. 2 to 50. Well, 2 to 50. So there's no minimums.
Okay.
Small group 2 to 50, or it can be a large group 10,000 people. There's no requirements when it comes to the group
So
size.
it can even be over 50.
Yeah, it can be over 50. It can be any. There's no requirements when it comes to the group, so the size of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also talk about giving more options, because usually with group plans, the employer will give them like a high option and a low option.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. They don't have any options, right? So it's hard to maybe tailor that employee's needs, right?
Exactly.
So with this, you're saying that they can choose from a wide range of plans, from silver, gold,
platinum, bronze. Yeah. So someone who can be an employee who never goes to the doctors, and they can be like, I don't really need health insurance, but hey, if you're going to give it to me, I'll take a bronze plan. Or someone who has a lot of medical needs, they can go into a gold and a platinum plan, and they just have to pay the difference if there is a difference. And sometimes in many circumstances, a contribution from the employer covers the whole premium. But if there's a difference, the employee pays it, and it looks like a traditional plan. It's all paid through payroll deduction. So it's not like they have to go pay out of pocket. And also, if the employee leaves, they leave with their plan. So if they've already hit their maximum out of pocket and they leave that job in May, they don't have to go and enroll in a new plan. Yeah, they're responsible for the premium, but they take their plan with them.
So it's portable.
Yes, exactly. It's portable. And then the Medicare.
Yeah.
So for those agents to do ACA and Medicare, it's if you're Medicare eligible, you cannot enroll in a marketplace plan. So what happens is, once someone in that employee group turns 65, that's a new to Medicare lead for the agent.
Yeah.
So it's a big lead source. There's a lot of interest in it. A lot of people are investing in it. A lot of health plans are investing a lot of money in it. So I think ICRA is definitely the future. So there's definitely going to be some trainings and things on that.
Yeah. So looking forward to them. And I already heard a few things about ICRA, and I'm kind of learning it too, so that we can definitely teach it to the agents.
Yes.
But thank you for your insight on
Of
ICRA
course.
and how this can actually help impact the community and the small groups.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So that's amazing. Let's talk a little bit about integrity now, because you do a lot of things with integrity, the technology they have. So tell me, what has been some of those tools that you think have benefit the agent most?
So I think definitely when we started with integrity, when we merged with integrity in 2020, we were introduced to Medicare Center, and the growth that we have seen from Medicare Center from 2020 to 2025 is phenomenal. I have agents who didn't want to. I was like, you need to use Medicare. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't. Now they can't live without it because it's just a tool that has everything that you need.
Yeah.
CMS came out and saying it was like in October, like literally right by September, you have to record your calls if you're not in front of your member for the Medicare. Immediately they came up with a solution for agents where agents were stressed and they're like, do I have to like find a company that's going to record and I have to pay? No, for free. You're an integrity agent. You get access to this. The Plan Enroll website.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. A consumer can create their own profile, link it to their agent, and they can update their medications, they can update their doctors, they can update their pharmacies, and all that information is updated live on the agent side. So it's just less work. The AI. Like AI is the future. We all know that. I mean, AI might, hopefully not, might take our jobs one day. I hope not. I hope I'm still here. But you don't have to go read through different notes that you have. You say, hey, what's the last update I have on John Smith? And AI is going to be like, they're enrolled in this plan. You guys discussed this. This was their concern. Okay, can you please drive me, pretty much send me to their house, and they map it out for you right there. And they move it to the GPS. So it's like the technology is just crazy, and there's so much more things coming.
Yeah.
We're so excited because there's so much more things coming that I don't know if I can reveal right now, but maybe next time.
All right. Yeah. And that's definitely, the Medicare Center has been a game changer for us. It's just the speed of process. Because I think one of the hardest things for agents is learning all these enrollment platforms. You know, like if we want to do an enrollment with the different carriers, we had to go to those platforms, learn those platforms. Each of them had a different requirement. It was hard, right? So, you know, now with the new agents, we just use the Medicare Center and like, hey, this is what you use, and it's so much user friendly.
Yeah, and it's not only that; it's with all of the changes with Medicare every year. If you're using individual platforms, let's say if you enroll someone into Humana, and then you have to change them to a WellCare. If you're using individual platforms, you have to input that information from scratch.
All over.
In Medicare Center, it's there. You're just completing the enrollment, and all of that information is being pulled, so it saves you time. So Integrity says, and it's a statistic that has been proven, that our brokers who use Medicare Center are 79% more efficient than brokers who do not.
Wow, 79%.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, that's a big percentage.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
So whoever's using Medicare Center are gonna be producing more
exactly.
too as
Yep,
well.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that is amazing. So, and looking forward to hear about
There's
everything else they have.
Yeah.
And I remember the call recording thing, and I think within 2 or 3 weeks, that was achieved. And whoa,
it's amazing.
Really...
And they're really on it. We have a whole team in shared services, and they're dedicated to literally technology. And they say it's built by agents for agents, and it's true. They take our feedback into consideration, and they listen to what we need, and they make it happen for us. So it's a great tool.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is amazing. So, what has been the biggest challenges you think the insurance industry is facing right now, Kiara?
I think I think there's challenges on both sides, on the Medicare and on the ACA side. On the Medicare side, I would say is the amount of changes, and a lot of these plans going non-commissionable. A lot of agents are losing faith in that because at the end of the day, everybody has to work to provide for their family, and commissions are important because we're doing the work. As much as we love servicing the community and helping seniors and you know, creating family members out of this, the commissions are important. So the fact that plans are randomly coming on non-commissionable, and there's just it's losing a lot of trust in the industry. So it's very hard on the Medicare side, and on the ACA side, all of the fraud. It's very disappointing because I think some people get into this business and think that it's a quick cash grab, and it's not.
It's not.
And it's not. And when one person does something bad, it could affect everybody. So I think that's the challenge on the ACA side.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah,
totally agree. What has been some of those things that, you know, when you guys get an agency or an agent, what has been some of those things that they do to grow and scale their business? You know, some tips that you can give around that, you know, because your perspective is wider than ours, right? Because you have so many agencies that you guys support. So what has been some of the things you have seen that has helped agents or agencies?
So I think our number one that we push is grassroots marketing. I think that's what we always push for, and I think that's part of my speech whenever I'm talking to an agency is we're never going to give you a list of 100 names to call. We're going to put you out there in events. We're going to put you out there in front of the community, and we're going to teach you how to be out there. So I think that's one of the biggest success of our agencies is that we support and we push for our agencies to do grassroots marketing and to get out there into the community, and to get into those underserved communities.
Yeah,
we have a big focus on DSNPs, and in the ACA market, a lot of our people are fully subsidized because those are the markets that we go into, the markets that may not have access to technology or TV or the capabilities of doing their own research. So that's where we push our agencies, and that's where a lot of our agencies see a lot of success.
Wow. That's amazing you point that out,
Yeah.
because definitely it's a very good niche to be on. And some agents don't like to go into the dual income areas or the low income areas, but man, I remember that's where I got most of my business. There's the most needy people, right? They need more education. They don't have anybody to help them. They don't understand. Insurance is complex, you know. ACA, Medicare, you have to really know how to explain it because they don't understand.
It's about teaching. Yeah, we're teachers. Yeah, we're insurance agents and teachers and babysitters and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, it's a lot of education.
Yeah,
Definitely. Jumping gears, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that have helped you throughout your life and your career get to where you are right now. So you started, working in retention. Now you're the VP of sales and agent success, right? So what have been some of the things that have helped you grow in your career?
I think it's just always wanting to learn. I always want to learn. I'm always listening. And I'm never going to be big enough to learn from anybody. Like most of the things that I've learned have been from the leads that work under me or my sales team that report to me. But it's always wanting to learn and get an education. I remember when I became the supervisor in the contracting department, I only had my associates and I was like, no, I want more. So I went and I got my bachelor's working full time, being a single mom. In 2 years to the day, I got my bachelor's. Then I went and I got my certification in project management. Then I did a data certification. So I'm always wanting to learn to better myself, to better other people. And I just want to absorb knowledge.
Wow.
Like I'll listen to different trainings and I'll listen to different people speaking just because I want to learn their perspective. Yeah. I can know ACA in my sleep, but I love going to ACA trainings because what I love to do is listen to the questions of the brokers. What are the brokers asking? And that's how I build my trainings and things like that. So it's all about education. I think education and absorbing knowledge, that's what's gotten me where I am. I'm always willing to listen and I'm always willing to learn from other people.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Wow. Man, you did all that while still working full time.
Yeah.
You went to school with kids. That's hard.
Yeah. And I did it. And I'm proud because I did it in exactly 2 years. There was semesters where I had to take like 5 classes, but I did it in 2 years and I was extremely proud. And now I'm within the next year, I'm going to go for my master's. That's my goal.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What gives you that drive?
I think my son and my family. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
It gives me that drive to show them that anything is possible.
That's amazing.
That's my number one drive is my son.
Yeah, that's a great success story. Wow. We need more Kiaras in this world.
That's what they say, but
that's amazing. Do you like reading books?
Yeah, I do. When I find the time, but I'm more of a podcast girl, but I definitely love reading books. There's a book that I just finished reading for the second time, and it's called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I don't know if you've ever heard of that book.
Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Somebody recommended
it's a great book
to me.
So it's more of a spiritual book in a sense of like he was this big shot lawyer, and then it was all about the money and all about the Ferrari and all about the thing, and then he had a heart attack and then he disappeared. And he came back as that he had gone through this journey of finding spirituality and finding enjoyment in the moment and enjoyment in finding knowledge from other people.
Wow.
And he literally changed his life. And it's all about being present in the moment. It's about being present with people. And it's about taking knowledge from people. So I found something very like convincing with that. And it's not about the material things. It's about helping people and how you can help others and spread messages. So I feel like that really coincides with me wanting to always learn and also me being so passionate about working in the insurance industry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what are some of the podcasts you listen to now?
So I mean, this is going to be kind of I don't know how appropriate this is, but I love murder podcasts. I don't know why. I guess it's kind of balanced for me. So I'll go home and I'll listen to there's a podcast called My Favorite Murder, and they just talk about like different like unsolved crimes and stuff like that. So when it comes to that, I feel like that's kind of what I like to listen to, just because it's a balance.
Yeah, because it takes your mind.
Yeah,
from
because I
all
can't
the-
think about insurance all day. Then I would go crazy. So
I
yeah.
know. That's pretty.
We might have to cut that, but
No, you're good. You're good. That's it. Balance is important.
exactly, yeah.
Because myself, I'm like that too. I'm all the time thinking about insurance.
Yeah.
Every time I talk to Wes or I talk to one of the big insurance guys, all we talk is about insurance.
Yeah.
And Maria says, "You guys are so boring. All you guys talk this insurance."
Yeah, sometimes we need
That's
to think about something else. Like if I'm in the gym or I'm driving home, I need to disconnect from the office. I'll listen to because it's interesting,
It is,
Yeah, it's
it is.
interesting.
Love
And they always catch the bad guys, so that's a good thing. They always catch the bad guys. I listen to the ones where they catch the bad guys. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
And you learn from that too, because maybe they talk about the strategy they use.
exactly. I mean, I don't want to learn too much from that, but yeah.
Hey, and what has been the best advice maybe a mentor has given you in this industry?
I think it is to be confident in myself, because I think when you're in an industry that you're brand new to and you grow so quickly, sometimes you have imposter syndrome where you're like, how did I get here? Do I really belong here? Did I say the right thing? But I've been taught by my mentors to, like, you do belong here. You've worked hard to get here. So I think it's believing in myself and not second guessing myself. So that's what's helped me succeed more, because it's a tough industry too. It's an industry that's led by males. It is. And so it's sometimes hard to like break into it, but it's believing in myself. I think that's what I've been taught. Yeah. To be more confident in myself.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. But it's led by males, maybe, but
We're changing it. We're trying. In the last couple of years, we're changing it. Yeah.
It's true. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, because a lot of our agents that are very successful,
Yeah.
they're female.
Yeah, because we're breaking in and we're taking over. So be careful, Jorge. Watch out.
So that's good. That's really good.
Mhm.
And if you could change one thing about the insurance industry, what would it be? If you have like the magic hands and change one thing.
I think it always goes back to those bad agents. I think if we can magically come up with a system that would just eliminate them, because it's so sad when you get a call from a client that they had an important surgery and they're crying because someone changed their plan and you're their client, and then you go and someone else's MPN is on it and they change a plan, and it's just that breaks your heart.
Yeah.
So if I had a magical wand, it would be to just make it a pure industry that's just about helping people and get rid of all those people who are just in it for a financial gain.
Love that. Like
Yeah.
you said that, because that has happened
Yeah.
to me, and it has happened to a lot of our agents. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh my God, this person messed up this
Exactly.
person, this person
Just for a commission.
just for a
Not
commission.
thinking that there's an actual human being on the other side that
Yeah.
that got their coverage for a reason and can be going through something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's wow.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
needs to change.
Yes. So my magic wand, that's what I want.
Yeah. This has been great, Kiara.
you.
Last question.
Mhm.
If you have to give an advice to your 20-year-old younger self,
Mhm.
what would you say to that person?
I would tell them, and it took me a long time to get to this, to be able to say something like this to my 20-year-old self. Keep going on the path you're going on. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be okay. Don't second guess yourself so much. You're going on the right way, because I feel like I'm following a path that I was intended to follow, and I'm doing something that I really love and I was supposed to do through all the trials and tribulations. So if I can go back, I would say, hey, don't stress so much. You're gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. So that's what I would tell myself.
Oh, this has been great, Kiara. Kiara, any final comments for the audience listening to this
Yeah.
podcast?
So I want to bring up something real quick, and I want to say how happy and how agradecida, sometimes I have to put in some Spanish, I am to work alongside people like you and Maria. When I started 7 years ago, I started in the enrollment department, and I started with Maria bringing in enrollments. That's when WellCare changed their plan names and you had to rewrite all of them.
Yeah.
And I went into the contracting department, and that's when ID Insurance started. So I literally can see a list of agents, and I know the name of all your agents from the start, from that you worked with. So it's been just such an incredible journey to grow alongside IDEA. You guys are our largest agency, and I literally started here with Idea Insurance, with one agent, and we've grown together. So it's just been a privilege, and I appreciate everything that you guys do and the relationship that we have with you guys. I wanted to thank you.
No, it is our pleasure also. And thank you for all the support, you guys are giving us throughout the years. Every year it's better and better. There's more challenges,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But having that mentor, and I talk to you guys, you, Janet, Wes,
Mhm.
about different things that, as we grow, we go through,
Challenges,
right?
yeah.
And it's good to have a mentoring system or a mentoring person that has been in our industry for 30 years,
Yeah.
and he can say, hey, Jorge,
No.
it's
Or yes.
it's not the end.
Yeah.
It's not the end. I've been to this,
Yeah.
this and that. So that's so important to have a family, to have somebody that you can go to and ask questions. So
course.
so you guys do that for our Medicare and ACA lines of business. So thank you so much as well.
And there's more to grow.
More
growth coming.
There's a lot of what to do, and
Just in the beginning.
a lot of people to help.
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course. Exactly. Mhm.
So, all right, guys. So that has been all for this Ideas Edition podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Share this information with other agents, with other entrepreneurs. Maybe somebody is thinking about getting into the insurance industry. Send them this podcast. Maybe this might help them make their decision. And follow up, subscribe us, and I'll see you on the next Ideas Edition podcast.